Radio Stella Città.
Small Talk with Sophie Bennett
and Sean Bell. Good afternoon and welcome to Small Talk on International Sauvignon Blanc Day.
International what?
International Sauvignon Blanc Day.
Sauvignon Blanc Day.
So if you're sitting down to lunch, pour yourself a glass of Sauvignon Blanc because it's International Sauvignon Blanc Day.
International Sauvignon Blanc Day. Is there an International Bordeaux Day or an International
I
Pinot
don't know.
Grigio
You
Day?
would have to ask the Pinot Grigio and the Bordeaux people about that.
Well, that's just typical French, isn't it? They're celebrating their own one. Why don't the Italians have an international Montepulciano? Not Montepulciano, Montalcino. What's the name of the famous wine?
I don't drink. Yeah, I don't drink red, but it's Barolo.
Is there an international Barolo Day? Is there an international?
There should be.
There damn well should be.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
I think we should start one.
But of course, they're celebrating it. Celebrate it. Well, yeah, I suppose you celebrate it. You go and drink some Sauvignon Blanc. They're recognising it in New Zealand, of course, because they produce lots of Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, so the New Zealanders are good at producing wine, aren't they?
They're good at producing white wines in particular. Yeah.
Yeah, and the English have had a go at producing wine as well. Don't laugh.
I have tasted English wine. I used to work for a catering company in England when I first arrived in London. I was a silver service waiter, and this catering company, they had their own vineyard.
Oh.
And I'm not going to mention it on air, the name of the vineyard, but at the cheaper functions, we used to serve their white wine.
Stiamo parlando di vino. Ma è l'ora di pranzo veramente.
Yeah.
E oggi è la giornata internazionale del vino bianco Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
E stiamo proponendo che ci sia, se non c'è già, una giornata internazionale di qualche vino italiano. Yes, Barolo, for example.
I'm sure there
Pinot
is.
Grigio. We're going to have to find out.
We have to get on that internet now. Anyway, we've got a really great show today. We've got lots of good music. It's been a really great month. The last sort of 4 weeks has been lots of really, really good releases and re-releases. So we're going to be listening today to the new disc by Brian Eno and Carl Hyde from Underworld, and their album Someday World. Natalie Merchant, her new self-titled album, self-produced, self-titled, came out last week, and it's brilliant, and we're going to listen to a couple of tracks from that. And a classic from the 1980s, Grace Jones' Nightclubbing has been remastered, re-released into a deluxe edition, and that came out at the end of last month, and it's superb. We're going to be listening to a couple of tracks from that as well.
Wow, great, sounds great. I'm just going to do a quick translation there. Sean keeps saying we're going to be listening to, we're going to be listening to, we're going to be listening to, we're going to be listening to. I'll do a quick, we're going to listen to, ascolteremo, we're going to listen to. Just put that one in there. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about bowling, because it's bowling night tonight.
It is bowling night tonight, and actually there's a little bit of a problem because I don't know how to play.
Oh, good God. Okay, so we'll talk about how you play.
Yeah. So any suggestions there on technique? I'm more than happy to accept any offers.
Try and stay in the bowling alley.
Okay.
I suppose.
All right.
Try not to kill anyone would be my other piece of advice.
That's the first advice.
Okay.
I see
But we're going to be talking about frames and pins and strikes and spares and how to win the perfect game.
Ok, non andate via perché staremo parlando di bowling. C'è motivo perché stasera noi saremo tutta la squadra di Bennett Languages, tutta la squadra ma di lingua inglese, che saremo lì a sfidarvi nel bowling a Civitavecchia.
So Sylvia, is there a team from the radio station coming?
I don't know. Yes, I'm sure that will be there.
You've got how many hours? 9 o'clock it starts?
9:30.
9:30. You have got 8.5 hours to get a team together, Sylvia.
Be there or be square.
Beh, io non sono capace a giocare a
Neanche
bowling.
io, allora siamo in buona compagnia.
Sophie doesn't even know how to play.
No, actually, I can. You get me out there and I'll give it a good go. I don't know the rules. The rules.
Well, no one does.
The rules.
But then it doesn't matter. If you go to the bowling alley here, it's all the scoring is done electronically for you. But I think it's helpful to know what a strike is, what a spare is, what a frame is, etc.
Well, I know what the ball is.
Good.
And then you've got the
How
pins.
many holes?
How many
does-
holes? Enough to put your fingers in, yeah?
Okay.
Ci sono abbastanza buchi per mettere le dita? Yeah?
Io devo prendere la palla dei bimbi.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, but don't you? Yeah, you should test. There's all different weights. So get
Yeah.
the one that's not too light for you and not too heavy for you. If it's
Okay.
too heavy for you, then you're not going to be able to bowl it. If it's too light for you, then you're not going to be able to control it.
Right, okay, so it's about, listen to him.
It's an exact science.
Strategista bowling. Was that your favourite sport then when you were little?
No.
No.
But it is fun. I do enjoy it.
It is. I like
Yeah.
any kind of games like
Yeah.
that, actually.
So anyway, and so we're talking new music, we're talking bowling, and we are talking very British problems, customs you may have noticed from the Brits.
Yeah, there's a new book out called Very British Problems, which is talking about British people and our strange way of behaving. Il modo strano di comportamento dei Brits, i britannici, che si vede tantissimo in giro in questi giorni a Civitavecchia.
There's a ship in today.
There's a ship in today.
Yep.
Si vedono,
Yeah.
no? All with their shorts on.
Yes.
Enjoying the sunshine. Well, they love it here, don't they? All sitting out in the bars, having
Yeah.
a drink, having a Sauvignon Blanc, probably.
Probably, because they know it's International Sauvignon Blanc
That's
Day.
right, a little bit 11 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, so, sì, questo potrebbe essere utile per comunque commerciante, quelli che hanno i bar, i negozi a Civitavecchia, di capire un pochino, conoscere la mentalità di questi britannici, questi turisti che vengono per sfruttare al massimo la possibilità, potenzialità di aumentare il consumo. Yeah.
Because they could be a little bit reticent, they could be a little bit passive. Would you say that's a fair comment?
Okay, British, reticent. How would you say reticent? Reticente, no.
Reticente.
Reticente, esiste?
Maybe.
Yeah, reticente.
Like
Timidi.
timid.
Timido.
Timidi, passivi, un po' caute, cautious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not particularly lovers of direct approaches and direct communication, are they?
No.
Non sono grandi amanti della comunicazione troppo diretta.
Well, this is a generalization, but yeah.
It's a massive generalization, yeah, but all in all.
Luoghi comuni.
Yes. Stereotypes.
Yeah, but yeah, and cliches are cliches for a reason,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's a truth in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a generalization. Yeah.
So, for example, what are some of the things in this book, Very British Problems, Making Life Awkward for Ourselves, by Rob Temple?
Well, they sound so exaggerated, really, but in fact they are based on truth. Sembrano esagerati, ma veramente sono fondati sulla verità. C'è il primo esempio di questo libro che dice "Not quite catching someone's name, meaning you can never speak to them again". Che quando sei presentato a una persona inglese, britannico, se non ascoltano la prima volta il tuo nome, sono troppo imbarazzati per chiedere di nuovo. Non vogliono dire scusami, non ho sentito il nome, non mi ricordo. Allora preferiscono evitare la comunicazione invece di affrontare il fatto che non si sono ricordati il
Instead
nome.
of saying, sorry, I didn't get your name,
Didn't
or
catch
sorry,
your
what's
name.
your name again?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll just ignore you.
Yeah, which probably for an Italian just seems absolutely ridiculous. Sembra una cosa ridicola, no? Per un italiano. Che ci vuole, no? Just ask again.
Io lo chiedo.
Exactly, Sylvia.
Magari forse lo faccia un po', però io dico, mi sono dimenticato il nome.
Yeah.
No, succede. It happens sometimes.
Mind you, I do know one Italian who fails to introduce me because he cannot remember people's names.
Yeah. It can happen sometimes.
Yeah. È normale. It's
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah. It's just sometimes it can be about you say, okay, this is Sylvia and this is Sean and
And this is Thingy.
poi si spera che si presentano da soli, no?
Sì.
Perché si lascia una pausa abbastanza lunga, fanno loro, tra di loro. This is
And this is as they wait for you to go, and my name is.
yes.
A me mi è
exactly.
capitato, mi presento, allora, non mi ricordo, scusatemi la figuraccia, ti presento, non mi ricordo il tuo nome, e quello risponde magari Andrea. Si spera insomma che su due nomi almeno uno io me ne possa ricordare, però è capitato che ho presentato qui che non mi ricordavo i nomi e l'ho detto. Sicuramente una bella figuraccia, eh?
Yeah.
Exactly, to make a bad impression. E questo è il problema, making a bad impression, non volendo fare la brutta figura, to make a bad impression.
Però io lo dico, non mi posso ricordare tutti i nomi, conosco troppa gente, non è per cattiveria.
Yeah, with your job.
I know, it's like with us too. Like I have 25, 26 students in each group, and you know, it does happen. It's happened this week. I've called a person the wrong name in the tutorial, and I just, you know, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, names are important, aren't they? Also, it is nice to have your name remembered, because if somebody doesn't remember your name,
It does make a very, very good impression if you remember someone's name. You know, if you know the second time they meet you and they make a point of using your name, it does make a good impression.
Yeah, it shows that they're interested.
Yeah.
And of course, then you've got the opposite when you've got sales reps who use it too much, for different reasons. Okay, I think it's time
For a commercial.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back with more interesting British traits after this.
Pubblicità.
Radio Stella Città.
Rimanete con noi. Stay with us.
Restez avec nous.
Radio Stella Città.
La Provincia, quotidiano di Civitavecchia, Santa Marinella e dell'Etruria. L'informazione del territorio a soli 20 centesimi. La Provincia.
Blockbuster in via Rodi, sulla strada mediana a Civitavecchia. Vieni a noleggiare o comprare i tuoi film preferiti. Abbiamo anche console e giochi per tutte le piattaforme, PS3, Xbox e Nintendo Wii. Siamo aperti tutti i giorni dalle 11 alle 22, il sabato fino alle 23.
Stella Città
101,2.
Turn up the music.
That is Grace Jones. That is the 1985 remix of Pull Up to the Bumper. The great thing about the night clubbing re-release is there's a bonus disc with remixes and bonus tracks. And that, for example, Pull Up to the Bumper. Interestingly, night clubbing, although it's a really, I think, important and influential album, it was never a big success. It never, hit the top 20 in the UK.
Didn't it?
No, it sort of...
It marked an era for me. I remember when it first came out.
It was very influential. But really, Grace Jones's biggest sort of hit was Slave to the Rhythm, which sort of came out in 1985. And then after the success of Slave to the Rhythm, they re-released Pull Up to the Bumper. But she was hugely popular in New Zealand, I think probably because of this sort of real reggae influence. One of the great things about night clubbing are the musicians who are on the album. Mikey Chung and Barry Reynolds on guitars, Sly Dunbar and Robbie Shakespeare on bass and drums, Wally Bardaro on keyboards, and it was that mixture of British, American, African and Jamaican musicians creating that really unmistakable sound that made it such a great album.
Yeah, Grace Jones is classic, and of course, I mean, so striking in appearance, that sort of androgynous look. She's just so strong and amazing. Is she going to be doing any more concerts or anything? Is this kind of like a real comeback?
I don't know. Of course, she appeared a few years ago at the concert for the Queen with a hula hoop.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Oh, we'll listen to another track from the remastered and re-released night clubbing after a bit, but let's go back to some of these British habits and customs and tendencies.
Stiamo parlando del modo di comportamento tipico, stereotipico, si potrebbe dire, perché ovviamente sono generalizzazione della gente britannica. Questo modo di comportare un po' reticent, abbiamo detto, questo modo un po' timida, cauta che hanno in pubblico, perché è una cosa proprio del public life. E stiamo parlando del libro che è uscito proprio su queste cose, queste caratteristiche un po' particolari dei britannici. Another one in the book they were talking about is when we're crossing zebra crossings.
Okay.
Le strisce pedonali, che per me è sempre una cosa, Civitavecchia, parlando di strisce pedonali.
Is this a custom or is it just sort of like following the law? Because in most countries, cars have to stop. No matter, and stop and wait for you to get over the whole crossing before they can move again, which is not the case here.
No, that's right. I mean, it's a little bit of sort of who comes first, who's going fastest. You have to kind of negotiate with the car, which I find a little bit unnerving. Lo trovo un po' inquietante, perché negoziare con quante tonnellate di...
You negotiate with a truck.
metallo è un po' preoccupante qualche volta. This kind of negotiation. But I mean, for example, when my mother comes to visit in Civitavecchia, she has to, if she goes out by herself...
She just stays on one side of the road.
Yeah, she goes round the whole of the city without crossing the road. I mean, Mama...
She only goes to shops that are on the side where your apartment is.
No, ma seriously, la mia mamma ha 80 anni, veramente non può attraversare la strada da sola a Civitavecchia quando esce da sola.
No.
Io le dico, come i bambini, no? Non attraversare la strada. Lei rimane su una parte del marciapiede.
Sì, però il marciapiede pure è pericoloso a Civitavecchia.
Yeah. Possono avere anche le macchine lì, è vero. It's true.
Exactly. Scooters.
È pieno pure di cacchine di cane, di buche.
Okay, not life and death.
Yeah, it is. But it's a minefield.
That's right.
Scusate.
It's very dangerous for your shoes.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Anyway, non è questo che parlano nel libro, è un'altra cosa. So, when we do actually cross, So
Yeah.
quando arriva il punto che noi attraversiamo,
Yeah.
we always run a little bit. Facciamo una piccola corsetta.
I
Perché
don't.
you don't, yeah, because you've been in Italy for so long.
Yeah.
Perché c'è questo fatto di non dare troppo fastidio alla persona che aspetta, vero?
Sì.
You don't want to make them wait too long,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like, thank you very much. E poi lui aggiunge che si fa un piccolo, a little wave, come si può
Un
dire?
piccolo gesto con la mano.
Un piccolo
Yeah.
gesto della mano, un pochino per scusarsi.
Grazie
E
che
lui-
ti sei fermato, grazie per avermi aspettato.
That's right. Tu sei, mi dispiace dare questo fastidio attraverso il più velocemente possibile. Total opposite to Civitavecchia, no? Total
Sì.
opposite. Because in Civitavecchia people tend to walk very, very slowly and diagonally
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
the zebra crossing.
Yeah.
Non fanno proprio sulla striscia pedonale, ma fanno in modo diagonale.
Sì, sì.
Che così si allunga anche di più il percorso.
Condivido in
Quello-
pieno.
You're thinking, come on, hurry up. It's a cultural difference.
Eh
Yeah.
sì, fanno pure paura e dici porca miseria.
Yeah.
Oppure c'è o la pianta grassa davanti, che io la chiamo così, la pianta grassa, ovvero la signora che con calma attraversa in maniera diagonale e si fa nel frattempo i suoi affari, magari si ferma un attimo, gli squilla il telefono in mezzo alla strada, si ferma per cercarlo, mi è capitato,
Yeah.
giuro.
Yeah, it can happen. but I cannot understand it. I don't understand how it works. Come funziona questo sistema? Because when I'm crossing the zebra crossing, I almost get run over. Quando attraverso io, quasi mi prendono sotto. Instead, when I'm driving, I have to wait forever and ever. I don't know how it works. It seems like either way I lose.
E poi aggiungo un'ultima cosa, voi, io dalla parte del nord Europa,
Go on.
non avete i piccioni che attraversano la strada?
What do you mean?
Da noi ci sono i piccioni, da sai le volte mi sono dovuta fermare perché il
Yeah.
piccione non vola,
Yeah.
cammina in
Ah,
mezzo alla
really?
strada e
Yeah.
attraversa. Ti è capitato anche a te, Sean?
Yeah.
Qui a Civitavecchia è una cosa terribile. Il piccione, cioè io mi devo fermare se no prendo sotto il piccione. Che lui va tranquillo.
It's true. But actually, if you go at them, they do fly away. Because it actually happened to me yesterday, strangely enough. And I thought, well, here we go. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But he did fly away, so he escaped.
No, a volte attraversano. Mi è capitato sotto gli occhi.
Yeah.
Mi sono dovuta fermare, mi sono messa a paura, ho detto Dio l'ho acciaccato, l'ho schiacciato. Invece no, lui è uscito dall'altro lato, camminava tranquillo, sono vicino alla macchina.
Non poteva volare? No.
È che
Non avevo
glielo volevo
niente.
chiedere, io sono scesa, l'avrei strozzato.
Pigeon pie. Torta di pigione per pranzo. Pigeon
Well, this
pie.
I think is an election issue which is not being talked about. The pigeons that just walk across the road and won't fly. Which of these candidates is going to do something about that?
Yeah, we want to know what is the position on each of the candidates for the mayor about pigeons crossing the road. And another thing, vogliamo sapere quale posizione...
Mind you, the pigeons do cross the road on the zebra crossing, which is better than a lot of people here.
It is actually. Maybe
Yeah.
why did the chicken cross the road? Isn't there a joke in that actually? C'è sempre queste battute. Why did the chicken cross the road? Perché il pollo attraversa
To
la
get to
strada?
the other side.
Yeah, per arrivare dall'altra parte. Da 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 da.
Okay, don't give up your
English
day job.
humor.
Yeah, not very good one actually.
Anyway, moving on. Another thing, we're talking about this book, Very British Problems, Making Life Awkward for Ourselves by Rob Temple. Came out last October. Another one that he talks about, and I have done this, is you can't help yourself. When you go to a shop and you put the things that you're going to buy on the counter and you say, I'll just have these, please. As if you're like embarrassed about not buying the whole shop.
Ok, allora faccio una piccola traduzione. C'è la tendenza delle persone britannici, si dice così, le persone britanniche.
Perfetto.
There we go.
Yeah.
Ok, così non sbaglio. Le persone britanniche.
Yeah, we don't want angry letters.
No, così non ci sono protesti fuori, che io sto dando un esempio cattivo della lingua italiana, per carità. Who would want to do that?
Cioè, vabbè, lasciamo stare.
Anyway, c'è la tendenza delle persone inglesi che quando vanno nel negozio, altre volte si vogliono scusare perché comprano soltanto una cosa, non tante cose, solo prendo questi, grazie. Just these, thank you. It's apologetic.
Who cares?
Apologetic. Ci dobbiamo sempre scusarsi.
Certo.
Sorry, anche quando si va per esempio ai supermercati, posti un po' chiusi pubblici, se c'è la tendenza forse per sbaglio uno tocca forse la spalla di un'altra persona e dice sorry, perché ha invaso nello spazio personale.
Magari tutte le persone dicessero sorry, Sophie.
Sorry.
Si vivrebbe molto meglio, secondo me. Invece sono poche quelle che dicono sorry.
We're going now to the news, but we will be back with more British customs and more music after this.
Avete ascoltato Radio Stella Città News.
That's Grace Jones from the remastered deluxe version of Night Clubbing. That's one of the bonus tracks. Her cover of Tubeway Army's Me, I Disconnect From You.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, a bit of Gary Newman there.
God, I didn't recognise that.
Yeah.
Great music today. Thank you very much, Sean.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Music Maestro.
Well, thank you, Grace Jones.
Yeah, thank you, Grace.
And the Compass Point All-Stars.
Okay, we were actually talking about British traits, but while we were listening to Grace Jones, then we were also talking about birds. Leocelli, we were talking about pigeons and how...
Pigeons crossing the roads.
Pigeons crossing the roads, how aggressive they've become, carattere dei pigioni, che quanto sono aggressive. Really
Must be hard being a pigeon, though.
Yeah, it's a pigeon's life, not
Nobody
dog's
likes
life.
you.
Well, no, they're just so
You've gotta,
arrogant, prepotente, arrogant. Generally pigeons. And seagulls are becoming very aggressive too.
Oh, seagulls have always been very aggressive.
Yeah, there's a big problem in my town, in my city, in England with seagulls, because there's lots of tourists there. And because they eat lots of ice cream and pizzas and things like that, so there's quite a lot of rubbish in the streets, unfortunately, or in bins. The seagulls will actually fly down and steal ice creams if children are eating them, or steal pizza out of your hand. Questi sono i gabbiani aggressivi in città mia, Bath, in Inghilterra, che proprio volano e rubano i gelati e la pizza proprio dai mani dei bambini. Unbelievable, eh? Watch out.
Civitavecchia succede peggio con i gabbiani.
Yes?
È un po' più brutto quello che succede.
What do they do?
Si mangiano i piccioni.
Oh!
L'avete mai visto?
Oh my god, it's cannibalism here.
Sono diventati cannibali i gabbiani.
Oh, that's really dangerous. When will they start eating us?
L'altro giorno la mia nipotina guardava la finestra, il piccione, arriva il gabbiano, boh,
Oh my god!
e se lo mangia. Mia nipote, uè!
No, that's horrible.
That's a terrible life lesson, isn't it? About
Sì, ma è da un bel po' di tempo, sarà 1 o 2 anni che ho visto questa cosa.
They are huge, actually. I thought I saw an albatross on my terrace once.
No, it was a
seagull.
It was a
really.
seagull.
It was a seagull.
They've got a huge
They're
wingspan.
massive.
Yeah.
I thought I was having some kind of vision, you know, like pensavo di avere qualche visione o hallucinazione because it sembrava un albatross. Anyway, it was just.
Have you seen an albatross, really?
No, I thought I had. I even rang my brother. So I've just seen an albatross.
Oh, right.
I've been reading too much Coleridge.
Exactly.
Water everywhere. È tutto questo mare intorno a Civitavecchia. Anyway.
You're running around trying to find a chain to put it on.
Dear. Anyway, torniamo a questo libro su the British characteristics.
What's one on the list which you are guilty of?
Well, there's one which my mother is guilty of.
Oh, see how she deflected that?
C'è uno dei quali I'm innocent, Your Honour. La mia mamma, who's just typically British and stuff.
Oh, and isn't here to defend herself anyway. Yes,
She
go
just
on.
doesn't like to attract attention. Non voglio
Okay.
attirare attenzione in pubblico. In fact, when I speak in a louder voice, because I've been living in Italy now for almost 20 years, she goes, shh, shh, in public. You know, people are looking.
Oh, I have a friend that does that on buses. If people in like the seat in front are talking too loudly, she starts going shush, shush. which means she's really popular on public transport.
Telling people off.
Telling people to shush.
Anyway, non è perché la mia mamma dire shh a me perché parlo in una voce troppo alta. It's another thing. I remember when we were children, veniva l'uomo per pulire le
Finestre.
Finestre, the
A
windows.
window cleaner.
The window cleaner. And he used to come once a month or once a week, I can't remember. And I remember one time she didn't want to have the windows cleaned. Non
Yeah.
volevo fare lavare le finestre. So instead of just opening the door and saying, no, thank you, I
Not
don't.
today, thank you.
Not today, thank you. We all had to hide. Dovevamo nascondere
So you're like lying
tutti.
on the floor or behind the curtains.
Yes, I was up in my mother's bedroom, I remember, on the floor. And io e i miei 2 fratelli dovevamo nascondere nella camera della mia mamma finché lui non andava via. Until he went away. And that's just typical.
That's very similar. My father tells a story about one of the first times he went round to meet my mother's parents, my grandparents, and they were sitting in the living room, having afternoon tea, and then suddenly everybody hit the floor, and my father was sitting there on the sofa going, what the hell is happening? And they're going, get down, get down. It was because this relative had come, they'd seen this relative come down the garden path and was knocking on the door, and they didn't really want to entertain him.
Ok, faccio una piccola introduzione che noi stiamo ridando tutto, forse per quelli che non hanno seguito questa scena comica alla famiglia di Sean. Il padre è andato per trovare i genitori della prospettiva moglie, che è la mamma tua, sì?
Fidanzata,
questa
yeah.
è fidanzata. Poi erano lì prendendo tè insieme, poi improvvisamente tutti dicevano per terra, tutti per terra, perché arrivava un parente meno popolare che l'hanno visto arrivare in un giardino, invece di dire scusate siamo impegnati, tutti per terra per nascondere. It seems absurd.
It is bizarre.
Che cose strane, va bene. Sono altre culture, ragazzi, altre culture.
Ma c'è una logica, perché non vuoi offendere.
Certo.
Alla fine è quello, uno non vuole essere scortese.
Sì, ma a volte è vera questa cosa, si diventa simpatici, diciamo, si fanno cose simpatiche per non essere scortesi.
We just spend all our time hiding from each other. That's all. Passiamo tutto il tempo a nascondere da uno e l'altro, no?
But it's it's something important that students I think need to be aware of, because it does affect the language as well.
Yes.
When I'm working with my lawyers and my law students, and we're talking about negotiation techniques, and how a lot of British negotiators will very rarely give you a direct no. They'll of course preface negative responses with "I'm afraid" and "I'm sorry," but they'll also be evasive as well.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you, for example. Which basically, would sound like, "Oh yes, I'm listening to you," or "I hear what you're saying," which actually means no.
No.
Okay. Okay. Yes, that's an interesting idea.
Okay, I'm going to have to stop you there because we're going to commercial.
Yeah, grande Sean.
Pubblicità.
Radio Stella Città.
Rimanete con noi. Stay with us.
Restez avec nous.
Radio Stella Città.
La provincia, quotidiano di Civitavecchia, Santa Marinella e dell'Etruria. L'informazione del territorio a soli 20 centesimi. La provincia.
Centro Stampa Romano, le migliori tecnologie di stampa per quotidiani e periodici, in rotativa, colori e bianco e nero, per qualsiasi tiratura, per tutti i progetti grafici, passo dopo passo, ideazione e realizzazione di qualsiasi tipo di prodotto editoriale. Centro Stampa Romano, siamo a Roma in via Alfana 39, perché l'editoria da noi è di casa.
Turn up the music.
Hey, hey, ladybird, ain't it just the way that love grows cold and then fades away. Now when he touches you, make no mistake, the fire's long gone out and the ash has blown away. And you don't know how to leave, and you don't know where to fly, and you don't know what you feel, but you know it's not satisfied today. So many little ones, so many mouths. You got a lot to feed and you know you don't know how. Making the best of it, somehow you're making do. Making the best of the days they can stay in your weight in this cage they made for you. And you don't know how to leave, and you don't know where to fly, and you got a lot of things to lose, so you got a lot of things to hide, and you know you don't but you know you gotta try today. You know the sweetest wine, it's a witch's brew, pours like honey down and then burns a hole in you. Yeah, you may think you're done, but you're never through. Spitting out the bitterness too. Yeah, the little sweetness you do. And you don't know how to leave, and you don't know where to find, and you got a lot of things to lose, so you got a lot of things to hide, and you don't know what you feel, but you know it's not satisfied.
That was Natalie Merchant, the first single from her new album, Lady Bird. The album is called Natalie Merchant, and that's the first single. Great to have her back.
Beautiful it was. Lovely.
You're listening to Small Talk on Radio Stella Città, and if you go to our Facebook page, you will see us smiling away in the studio.
Yeah, se volete vedere le nostre
Our
ugly
faces for radio.
How do you say ugly mug?
Ugly mug.
Our ugly mugs. If you want to see our ugly mugs, se volete vedere chi è che parla, siamo adesso su Facebook, c'è una pagina, c'è un foto che abbiamo messo sulla pagina di Radio Stella.
La stiamo caricando.
Now tonight there is bowling at the bowling alley.
Yes, stasera se volete partecipare, praticare, esercitare il vostro inglese, she said between gritted teeth, do come tonight to the bowling in Civitavecchia, because we'll all be there bowling along and chattering away in English.
Squad Bennett.
Bennett,
What time is Squad Bennett going to be there?
Squad Bennett's going to be there at 9:30.
9:30.
Yeah, feverishly studying all the rules and trying to work out how to do it, besides just throwing the ball.
You don't throw it, you bowl it, you roll it.
No, you just chuck it.
No, you roll it.
Okay.
If you chuck it, you will never be allowed back there again.
Ok, questa è la prima cosa utile che ho imparato, non lanciare the bowling ball.
Now, key words for bowling are frames.
Okay, what are frames?
A bowler is allowed 10 frames to knock down. A frame is the set of pins.
Okay.
Or attempts, basically.
Okay.
Or games. The bowler is allowed 10 frames in which to knock down the pins.
All of them?
Well, if you hit all of them, that is a strike.
Ok, stiamo facendo tutte le regole e la procedura per fare una partita di bowling.
Yeah.
So you have 10 frames.
10 frames. Now, each frame consists of 9 pins.
Okay, 9 pins. And the object of the game
is to knock down all 9 pins.
Knock down all the pins.
And you have 2 rolls to do that.
What does 2 rolls
mean? 2 rolls of the ball.
Oh, you only get 2 rolls?
Per frame.
Per frame.
Now, if you knock all the balls down on the first roll, that is a strike.
Okay.
And if you knock all the balls down on the second roll, that is a spare.
Okay.
Now, that's important because you get extra points for a strike and extra points for a spare, but not immediately. You get it on the points that follow.
Okay.
So there's a strike, a spare, and an open.
What's an open?
An open is when you don't hit the pins down. You don't hit all 9 down. You just get the points for the pins that you knock down.
And what about if you miss totally, when it goes down that little channel at the side?
Well, that's no points.
That's just a big disappointment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, you don't need to worry tonight because the electronic scoring system will do that for you. Okay. But this is what they mean, because it will come up strike and it will come up spare. Okay. So there are 3 kinds of marks given on a score. Okay.
Yeah.
Write this down.
Yeah, I'm
Take
just
a pen.
thinking about taking some notes, actually. Here's my pen. Here's my pen.
Take a pen.
My pen.
Okay.
Okay, number 1.
Okay, a strike. All pins down in the first ball.
Ok, strike è quando butti giù tutti
i birilli in un solo colpo.
Yeah.
Ma devi essere bravo, o ti deve dire una gran
capita.
fortuna.
Ogni tanto capita.
A spare is all 10 pins. I said 9 before, sorry. 10 pins down by the second ball. So you have 2 attempts.
Ok, spare è quando si riesce a buttare giù tutti quanti le cose, le pins, ma con due lanciate the balls. I don't want to say something rude here.
Mi sono persa.
Yes, Sylvia, help!
Mi sono persa. Non vi stavo ascoltando.
So we got a strike, we got a spare, and then an open, which is when there are missed pins still standing when your turn ends.
Ok, open è quando non cadono tutti 10, ma rimangono 2 o 3, che è una grande delusione veramente. Perché le guardie, dai, cadi, fall.
Ma c'è il caso in cui mandi la palla nella corsia a fianco?
Yeah, it does happen. It does happen.
Could you still get a strike if you knock them all over?
No, there are people that do sort of run down and try to hit them with their head, but
it's got a headbutt, isn't it?
Now, this is important. So there's a strike, okay, when you hit everything down on the first go.
We've got that.
A spare, when you hit everything down, you take 2 goes to hit everything down.
The second go.
And then open is when there are still pins remaining after your two rolls of the ball.
I'm starting to get excited about this.
Now, a strike... Oh, you'll get very excited about this. A strike earns 10 points plus the points for the next 2 balls thrown.
Wow.
So you keep scoring
Accumulating.
points as it goes on.
Wow, so it's just all uphill. Win, win, win.
Exactly. So, for example, if a player got a strike, then followed with a 7 and then a 2, their value for the strike would be 10 plus 7 plus 2, or 19.
Wow, very good on your mathematics there, Sean. You're not just a good English teacher.
No, I'm a good reader. I'm just reading it off a page. Now, a spare, okay, earns 10 points plus the points for the next ball thrown.
Only one.
Yeah, just the
Okay.
following
Pretty
one.
technical, this. It's pretty complicated. This way, it's almost as bad as cricket.
Oh, well,
Not really,
no,
actually.
no,
No,
don't
I
go
think
there.
cricket's-
Don't go there.
Cricket's much
Okay.
worse.
So again, if a player gets a spare, so they take 2 rolls of the ball to knock down all the pins, and then the next roll of the ball, they knock down 7, the value of the spare will be 10 plus 7, or 17.
Okay.
But if it's an open, okay, the frames are added normally. So if you knock down 5 of the pins on the first ball and 3 on the second, then you get 8 points.
Well done.
Okay. The maximum score in 10-pin bowling is 300.
That's it. And then what happens? You go
This-
home.
Well, this consists of getting 12 strikes in a row in one game.
Does that ever happen?
Must do.
There must be champion
Yeah.
bowlers out there.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
in America. It's
Oh,
an
yeah.
American game, isn't it? Bowling, is it?
Well, it's hugely popular in America.
Yeah. But Angie, we did have garden bowls, actually. I mean, in England, I used to play
Yeah.
bowls on the lawn.
Yeah, lawn
but-
bowls.
Lawn bowls, yeah, and lots of
Which is an
pins.
Olympic sport.
Is it?
Yeah, lawn bowls is an Olympic sport.
Okay, great fun on a Sunday.
Which is
afternoon.
completely different, though, because it's all about positioning and...
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah. You're not really sort of like chucking the ball like you are in the bowling alley.
More people die during bowls than any other sport.
No. Are you joking?
No, this is a statistic I read many years ago, because it tends is a sport that attracts the elder, section of the population, and
Are you pulling our leg,
many
Sean?
of them do have a heart
Are
attack
you
while
pulling-
playing
are
bowls.
you pulling
No,
our
I swear
leg?
to God.
Ci sta prendendo in giro. No, it's
no,
true, è vero.
yeah.
Che bowls, non bowling, bowls, quello che si gioca nei prati inglesi, per esempio, gli anziani che lo fanno.
Bocce, le bocce.
Come bocce,
Dove c'è il boccino che
Sì,
devi tirare
sì,
la
sì,
palla.
è una forma di... Evidentemente quello è il gioco, diciamo, più, tra virgolette, pericoloso, perché ci sono più morte quando le persone stanno partecipando in questo gioco di altri sport.
Perché sono anziani e quindi magari si prende un po'. Sean, che humor!
No, it's true!
È vero!
True, it's true! Infatti è troppo strano per essere... Ma it's true! According to Sean, anyway.
Oh,
What page number is that,
I
Sean?
don't know. I have to go and look it up.
That must be page number in the Dangerous Sports book. Come on. We want our facts. Okay, are we coming to an end now?
We
Is that
are
time
coming
out?
to an end.
Oh.
Now, you've got
Yeah.
something at the school, haven't you?
Yeah, just
apart from bowling night.
Apart from bowling night, we are actually taking enrollments for the summer course, which will be starting when school ends.
Okay.
So, per i ragazzi, scuola media superiore e anche dell'elementare, stiamo iniziando a prendere iscrizioni per corsi estivi, che se non siete stufati di studiare già, potete continuare a potenziare il vostro inglese. We're there for us. Anyway, exciting course, a nice course, lots of interesting things to do. So, per più informazione ci potete chiamare Bennett Languages.
Yeah! More
So
English.
So that's it for today. Thank you for joining us here on Small Talk. I won't be here next week, but the lovely Sophie will.
Yes, and I'll be here, I hope, with Tizi Brunetti from Scuola Superiore Baccelli, with some of her students.
Yeah.
We'll be chatting away in English.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Nice,
yeah,
nice,
lovely.
nice.
This is not the first time Tiziana's been on the programme, actually. She was very popular,
Yeah.
so very nice to have her back again.
So, so speaking of that, do, follow us up. The episodes are available on our YouTube channel.
Ok, se volete ascoltare di nuovi programmi li trovate su YouTube, Small Talk. Ok.
So, have a great weekend, everyone.
Yeah, have a lovely weekend. Let's hope the weather's going to be good. Okay, that's goodbye from me and goodbye from Sean.